everyone. Today we'll be looking at the topic unemployment. Unemployment simply means the total number of people in a country who are of working age and are willing and able to work, but they are unable to find employment. And it is calculated with the formula as seen below, where we have the number of unemployed persons divided by the working population times 100 over 1. So any country that wishes to calculate its rate of unemployment will use this formula: number of unemployed persons divided by the working population times 100 over 1. Let's now look at the types of unemployment. There are 8 main types of unemployment, which are listed on the screen. We have the structural unemployment, the seasonal unemployment, mass unemployment, underemployment, frictional unemployment, voluntary unemployment, residual unemployment, and casual unemployment. Let's now explain them one after the other. Starting from the first one, we have the structural unemployment. This is a type of unemployment where we have people being unemployed due to low demand. When the demand for the commodity that is being produced by that industry is low, or when it drops, we will have such an industry laying off some of its workers to be able to meet up. So that can result to a type of unemployment called the structural unemployment. The second type of unemployment is the seasonal unemployment. This type has to do with the companies that produce seasonal commodities. So when that company or whatever the product that company is producing is no longer in season, or have such a company laying off its workers. So this is another type of unemployment. The third type of unemployment is a mass unemployment. This type is similar to the first one, which is a structural unemployment. The only difference is that mass unemployment has to do with a number of industries, but it's caused by the same factor, that is low demand. When there's a reduction in demand for the commodity that a group of industries are producing, it can lead to mass unemployment. The fourth type is the underemployment. This type of unemployment has to do with people that are working below their capacity, that they are not working, they are not doing the kind of job that they are trained to do. For example, when we have an engineer working as a teacher, or we have a medical doctor working as a teacher instead of working in the hospital, call those type of people underemployed. That they are not working based on their capacity or their training. So this is called underemployment. The next type is a frictional unemployment. This type of unemployment is caused by a change in the technique of production. That when we have a company moving from labor-intensive to capital-intensive means of production, that instead of using the workforce or workers to work in the production, they end up using machines. So the duties that the individuals are supposed to be carrying out is now done by a machine. This can lead to unemployment. The next one we'll be looking at is the voluntary unemployment, which is a type of unemployment that is done voluntarily. We have workers who actually have a job that they're supposed to be doing, but they decide on their own not to apply for such jobs. They just want to remain unemployed or idle, probably because they are receiving a kind of incentive or money from somewhere, so they just decide not to work. So this is called a voluntary unemployment. We also have the residual unemployment, which is a type of unemployment that has to do with people living with disability. It can either be physical disability or mental disability. So this kind of people, due to their disability, they might be unable to work, or companies might not be able to employ them. So this is another type of unemployment. Then the last one we'll be looking at under this topic is a casual unemployment, which has to do with people that do not have permanent job. They are casual workers, that they work for a certain period of time. Maybe they'll be employed to work for 6 months, and after the end of the 6th month, they become unemployed. So this is this is another type of unemployment called casual unemployment. Let's now move on to look at the causes of unemployment. There are various factors that can lead to unemployment. We have high cost of education, lack of industrial growth, overpopulation, lack of adequate skills, urbanization, and poor development plans. So let's look at all the factors one after the other. We have the first one, which is high cost of education. There are some people that are unemployed simply because they could not get the training needed to carry out certain duties or to be employed by certain organizations. And why they are unable to get such training, it might be as a result of high cost of education, when the fees that they are supposed to pay to acquire such training is so high and they don't have the means to acquire such training. They end up being unable to go to school. And if they cannot get the adequate training to be employed, there's no organization that will want to employ them. So that can lead to unemployment. Another factor that can lead to unemployment is the lack of industrial growth in a country. If we have a few industries in an economy, those few industries might not be able to employ all the people of working age in that country. So this can result in unemployment because only few people will be employed to work in such industries and the rest are left unemployed. The third cause of unemployment is overpopulation. An overpopulated economy will have the problem of unemployment because most of the youth who are of working age might not be able to get employment because of the population or so many people that are going for such position. The next one we'll be looking at is lack of adequate skills, which is also tied to the first one, cost of education as a cause of unemployment. When people lack adequate skills to carry out certain duties or to be employed in certain organizations, it can affect their ability to be employed. So this can result in unemployment also. Then we have the urbanization, where we have many people moving from the rural areas, that's the villages, to the cities. So we have a high rate of urbanization. So many people are flooding the cities, and we now have a high number of people moving into the city and leaving the rural areas. It can result in unemployment because most of the factories or industries that in the city might not be able to employ the number of people that are coming into the cities. The final cause that we'll be looking at is poor development plans. When the economy or when the government does not have proper planning in place to help in reducing the rate of unemployment, it can result in high level of unemployment. When there are no plans to set up industries or companies that can help to reduce the rate of unemployment, we will therefore have a high rate of unemployment in that kind of country or economy. Moving on to the next slide, where we have the consequences of unemployment. That's those things that can result from unemployment. When we have so many people being unemployed in an economy, what will happen in such an economy? The first consequence is increase in crime rate. When we have so many people of working age who are supposed to be working, but they cannot get a paid employment, what will those people end up doing? They'll become idle, and we all know that an idle man is a devil's workshop, so they will be involved in different kinds of crimes and other things that can end up affecting the society as a whole. Another consequence is a reduction in investment. A high rate of unemployment can result in a reduction in investment because most of the citizens do not really have the means to invest in certain sectors. So that's another problem that can come out of having a high rate of unemployment in the country. Another consequence is migration. Migration simply means the movement of people from one location to another. So it can be immigration or emigration. So migration is another effect of unemployment. in an economy, when people are unemployed, they tend to keep on moving from one place to another. Some people will even end up migrating completely from the country to another country because they believe that there are greener pastures in other countries, and they will have a better means of getting employed if they are able to travel to other countries. That reduces the number of the workforce in the country. The other type of, another consequence of unemployment is high rate of dependency, where you do not have, or rather when the citizens of the country do not have the means of taking care of themselves. They tend to be dependent on people around them and the government. So that's another problem that can result from unemployment. We also have the wastage of human resources. That's when we have so many people that are of working age that are supposed to be working to bring about the development of the country, are just sitting idle because they cannot get employment, or they are not skilled enough to work in certain industries. So it leads to wastage of human resources. And the final consequence we'll be looking at is the stagnation of the economy. Definitely an underdeveloped economy where you're supposed to have individuals are supposed to be carrying out certain tasks to aid or to help in the development of the country. It's not making use of such individuals who have a stagnated economy. The economy is not growing and it's just remaining the way it is because people are not putting in effort, or rather they are not given a chance to contribute their quota to the development of the economy. All right, let's look at the next slide where we have ways of controlling unemployment. How do we control unemployment in a country? The first way we can control unemployment is through industrialization. When an economy decides to set up industries and look for a way to make sure that its citizens are able to gain employment, it will help to control the rate of unemployment in that country. Another way of controlling unemployment is population control, trying to control the population so that we will not have an overpopulated economy. So if an economy is able to control its population growth, it can also help to control unemployment. Another factor that can be considered in controlling unemployment is encouraging geographical mobility of labor. This has to do with encouraging people, or the people of working age, to leave their states of residence to other states in search of means of employment, so that we will not have generate high rates of unemployment in the country. Then we also have proper development plans. We know that this is a problem that causes unemployment. So if the government in the country can bring up good plans that can help in industrializing the economy, or it will help in controlling the rate of unemployment in that country. We also have another way of controlling unemployment, which is providing incentives to investors. When we have foreigners or people who have the means to invest in certain sectors, the government should look for a way to encourage them by giving them certain incentives to encourage them to invest, because their investments will help in developing the economy and starting off certain industries that can help in employing people in the country. Finally, another way that we can use, another factor that can be used to control unemployment is redesigning the education system, making sure that the education system is arranged in such a way that the citizens are able to afford being educated, and there are so many proper structures are put in place to aid the education of the citizens, so that we will not have graduates who are unable to defend their certificates. Another way that a country can help in reducing unemployment rate is to encourage self-employment, encouraging the people to be self-employed as they end up acquiring skills and starting up a business of their own instead of depending on certain industries to employ them. So that can also help to reduce the rate of unemployment in a country. So basically, the topic is unemployment, and it just looks at the rate of unemployment in a country, how we have so many people that are supposed to be employed, but they are either unemployed or they are underemployed. So all the factors that we have looked at can be adopted by every economy that has a high rate of unemployment to help in controlling the unemployment in that country. Thank you.